afternoon, everybody. I just thought I'd pop on live here for a few minutes, and make some Halloween cards. Hi, Sheila. Are you guys able to hear me? Just give me a little thumbs up there. Hope that your weekend is going well. I don't usually pop on Saturdays, but I had a free afternoon and I thought I was just going to pop in quick. We'll make a few fun Halloween cards and have a look at this Simple Stories Spooky Things collection, which is really cool. I have a paper pack as well. I'll kind of give you a look at that. And then this is a card that I created with the 6x8. So I love these cut apart, these little cut aparts that come in the collection. It also is in the 12x12. But these are great if you want to put together cards. They're also great for pocket pages or if you just want to use a journal card on your layout. But I think they're really fun to make cards with. And I love giving out Halloween cards. This was just a really kind of has a little bit of glitter in there and shine, a little bit of mixed media, really fun card to put together. So I want to show you how I'm going to put those together. And I don't know if we'll get through all 4 of them, but they would be really easy to just kind of, you know, cut out your backgrounds, do some embossing, add some ink, and use the same kind of recipe to put together your cards and make a bunch of them with your scrapbooking products. So let me show you what we're going to use today. We've got some Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L. We've got the Easy Runner Grand. This is the white permanent. Really love this adhesive. Stays on, stays stuck. It's not going anywhere. You're not going to have to worry about your cards or your pages falling apart. And then we've got some adhesive dots. These are the tiny ones. They're like an eighth of an inch. So they're pretty tiny. This shows you the size. These are great to put on sequins. So we've got some pink and main embossing folders and sequins. These are the ones I pulled out to use. These are really fun to make backgrounds with. You could use anything. Like obviously these aren't themed for Halloween, but they look great using your solid papers to emboss. Hello everybody who's popping in. Then we've got some Art Impressions dies. These are the stitched rectangle dies. And then we've got Ranger Distress Oxides as well as some stickles. We've got a little bit of Lindy's Glitz Spritz. We're going to splatter that on for just a little bit of a glittery effect. You can kind of see those splatters in the background. And we've got this really great Simple Stories Spooky Things collection. So let me move these out of the way. And I'll show you, give you a look at this collection. I've used, let's see here. I've used the 6x8 paper pad. And this is great if you're making a 6x8 album or if you're making cards, or you can definitely use this on your scrapbook pages and layer your papers. So I think this is a fun one to have. I like that you've got a lot of the same patterns as the big paper pack. So here's the 12x12 collection, but the patterns are scaled down for the smaller paper. Tags are scaled down. These tags would be so fun to make like little bags of Halloween treats and then put the little tags on. You could even coordinate them with the card and give them for a special little treat for someone or take them to work. And look at this paper. It is so pretty. Really love how they added that teal blue to the purple and the orange and the green. That kind of gives you a look at all those colors in there. And then these are the cut aparts that we're using today for the cards. They've also got another set of cut aparts, which are really cute. You could definitely even cut these out and use them as ephemera and embellishments. This little ghost is adorable. And then we've got all these papers. They're double-sided. These are like little journaling spots, or you could layer them on your cards. Really love this as a background scene. It's almost like a quilted cloud, and it's got a little bit of stitching detail added in there. And then you've got several of the same sheets. So there's 24 papers. You have 24 double-sided, including 2 designer prints, tags, journal elements, and 2 of the 3x4 greeting card elements. You would be able to get a ton of cards out of this if you wanted to make cards from this. And then I pulled out the sticker sheet from the collection kit. So you've got all these papers, a lot of them similar to what's in the 6x8. And then you've got your 3x4s, your journaling cut aparts, your 4x6s, the journaling paper that you can cut apart, and then a full size sticker sheet. So these sticker sheets are great for adding details to your card. I do like to have like a powder bag, or this one is the Tailored Expressions powder, to take the stick off if I'm going to add some dimension to a sticker like this one. So I like to have that on hand. And then I also pulled out the Spooky Things journal bits. So this gives you a look at all the great elements that are in the journaling bits. So really fun for scrapbooking, of course, but I thought we would pull out these little strips, and we'll use these on our card. So they have these little, you could do washi tapes too, that would be fun. I put this little one here. So we've got a couple little scallop strips and this little floral strip. This is cute as well. We'll keep that out because maybe we'll use that. And that's what I wanted to use. These little ghosts would be cute as well to pop up. So we'll put these to the side right now. And these are really easy. So we've got our cards. I cut my background paper down to 4 by 5 1/4. So it's just a little bit around the edge there. And I've gone ahead and embossed with these pink and Maine embossing folders. So this one here has a really nice, almost like a tile detail. I don't know if you can really see. So here it is. You can see it very clearly with their pink embossing folders. And welcome to everybody who's popping in. So we've got this one here. Don't need to have anything that's specific to Halloween. These are just regular embossing folders that you could use for any kind of card making. I really like this dot. That's the one that I used on this paper here. And then we've got this almost like a lattice. And I think maybe this had some ink on it before, because I can see a little bit of darker ink that came off when I embossed. But that's perfect, and it'll just add to the Halloween vibe. So we've got our backgrounds that are all embossed already. Now we're going to take, we've got the white picket fence distress ink, and I don't know what I got onto that, but it doesn't seem to be transferring, so I think it's fine. And these are kind of like, these are Halloween cards. They're looking, you know, a little bit vintage and not perfect. So I don't even mind if a little bit of this white gets on the background. They're not going to be perfect, but look how fun that dot looks right now. Like, it looks so good. So we're going to do this with all of them. This won't be as noticeable with this lighter blue cardstock, but you can still see it. And I can press a little bit harder to get a little bit more ink on the raised areas, and it looks really nice. I think this paper is actually Spellbinders paper. So it has a nice thickness to it. So it worked really well for embossing, but wouldn't this, I think this would look so nice too as like a spring or even a wedding card or something. I think it would look beautiful. So we've got that one, and then we'll do the orange. But this makes it really quick if you've got all your backgrounds. You kind of are doing an assembly line thing. They're all embossed, and then you're just doing your inking. What's everybody up to this weekend? Are you making any Halloween cards? Look how fun that is. It just really boosts it up and gives it a little bit of a different effect, and you can see that dimension even more. Okay, so I am going to wipe this off. I recently got this new Tim Holtz glass mat, and I'm really, really liking it. It's the white one. I do have the black one as well. But I find that the white one's a little bit better if I'm doing something on camera. It's not quite as reflective. Okay, so we've got our backgrounds. Then I thought we would come in and we've got some inks. So I use the Villainous Potion around the edge of this. And you can see how it's just a little bit darker around the edge. And then I pulled in these colors of oxides to use with my other papers. Hi, Star. You finished the ones you needed to. You're packing to head to Ucluelet, which I'm sure I'm saying wrong, for a week with friends. Well, that sounds amazing. I had my hair done today, which I'm super excited about because it had been like 6 months since I had my hair done. And it's so nice to finally just go in and have time to have it done. So I'm adding, this one is peacock feathers, and it's so pretty. Like, it's a nice effect to just have a little bit of dark around the edge and then have the rest of it popping with the white. So I'm just adding a little bit of that around the edge. Just don't forget that if you are doing it onto your glass mat, you just want to make sure that you're wiping it off, because you don't want it to be transferred all over your cards. Then we've got Crackling Campfire for the orange. So we're going to do, again, around the edge. After this, I'm going to take my daughter to the mall. We have to pick up a couple things. Have a couple things to do later. And yeah, just get stuff done this weekend. But I did want to make some Halloween cards and get them sent out. Canada Post is kind of back. If you live in Canada, the mail is a little slower, but I think these cards I'll probably just hand out to friends. And then we have Rustic Wilderness. You could choose lots of different colors for these. You know, whatever you have. Just something that's a little bit darker than your paper is going to give you that effect. I really like this Spooky Things collection. It has a lot of really cute elements in there. And I think this Pink and Main, the dot embossing powder. Or embossing folder. I don't know what it is about this one, but I love it. I love dots. Anyways, so isn't that pretty? So pretty. All right, so we've got 3 backgrounds already made. Give that a wipe off. And my fingers. And then we've got our card bases. I'm using the Creative Scrapbooker Super Stock, which is a really nice heavyweight paper. And we may as well start by putting these on. So this is the Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L, the permanent white runner. It is really nice and sticky. After you get that pressed down, it is not moving anywhere. So we're just gonna stick these on. And sometimes I will go from the back and press it down, especially if I've got ink or something on the front, just so that I'm not rubbing that all off. That's pretty much dry. If you felt like you wanted to dry it a little bit more, you could bring in, I like the Ranger heated craft tool. And I find that it heats really nicely and is good for just, you know, lightly drying your background, especially if you have some mixed media on there. It doesn't get so hot focused in one area, but you can still emboss with it, which is great. So let's get these put on. I like these kind of cards where you figure out the first one and then you can just follow your recipe and create the next ones that you want to create, and you're not overthinking, or you know, your brain doesn't have to think as hard because you have the style already set. And to not put the card on backwards. Okay, so we've got our backgrounds. Now I have those cut apart cards, and I've come in with this Art Impressions die. I've die cut, so it just die cut a little bit off of the 3x4, and it adds this really nice stitching detail, which is very pretty. And we've got You Are Spooktacular. So again, I'm just going to use my adhesive and put this on. This is just a black mat that I've cut just a little tiny bit larger than the die cut piece. Then we've got Eek, just so cute. Even if you're using these on scrapbook pages, it's fun, I find, to die cut these cut aparts, and it just adds a really nice finished element to them. And then we've got Happy Haunting. Okay. All right, and then what I would do is just decide, so one of these is going to have to go this way. I would kind of decide which color goes with which. The orange, that's too orange. I feel like that looks like better with the green, and that looks better with the orange. So that's kind of what I would go. I would pick the colors of the cardstock, kind of matching them to that paper pad, and then just decide how my focal element is going to fit on there. And then we're just going to glue this one down right in the center. This just makes it really easy. There are lots of great card sketches out there. Pinterest has tons of sketches, so if you find that you're not quite sure where you want to add all your elements, that's a good way to do it, to have a look at a card sketch. I'm really liking this folder. All right, and I need a drink. Just the tail end of a cold, and is just hanging on enough to be irritating. And you know, when you're talking and you're just hoping that you don't have some kind of a coughing fit. So if there's a chance that I do, I will just go have my coughing fit and then come back, but hopefully I don't. So then I'm just gonna take these little scalloped pieces that I got from the journal bits, and we are gonna just place these and decide where we want these. I think because there's so much raised dimension there, I'm actually gonna come in on this one and put a couple glue dots just to hold it down. And then once that grabs, that adhesive runner will be fine, but this will just kind of keep it down. There is a lot of dimension on this. Even though it's not a 3D folder, it does have a lot of dimension. Okay, let's go like this and just give it a push. So now I can take my little pieces, I can kind of decide where I feel like is the best. I do like that there's the dot on here and it's the same, but I could even, see this one too, I think I need a couple, or you could pop these up with foam tape and foam tape would stick nicely on that too. My youngest daughter is 13 and she's going to go out for Halloween this year. And my middle daughter is in university and she decided she's not going to go out this year. Do you have little kiddos that are dressing up, or are you guys making any special like treat bags and stuff for anybody that you know? I think I may make some treats or take in cards for people that I work with. Okay. And let's see, I still didn't. This almost reminds me of like washi tape, and I kind of feel like what I'm going to do is tear it so that it looks like washi tape. And then we'll put it on. There we go. Sometimes I will also do that with the branding strips that come on the bottom of the 12 by 12 paper. Okay, so that one's got the little washi detail. I think we'll go with this one on this side. I mean, we could put a little bit of color around the edge because it is light colored, so we could add a little bit of detail. That looks kind of nice. Okay, and then we'll just add a little bit of our runner, and these are attached in little tiny strips. So if you do need a smaller area, it's easy to just apply those little strips. I'm just going to kind of just tuck that under. Okay, and then we could do this one, but I think we'll do this one. And maybe we'll even add just a little bit of that purple. So definitely don't be afraid to add ink. I mean, we could come in, I think this would look really great with a green or an orange or a yellow in the background. If you use distress ink and not oxide, then it's going to only show on the white, which would look really great. So you can customize your, even though these are pre-printed, you can definitely add some details to customize that. And I'm really loving this distress sprayer from Ranger, if you're looking for a sprayer. Okay. So again, we've got those little pieces of adhesive. I'm going to put this one over top. All right, now the next thing that I did was go back to my sticker sheet. And then we want to add an element on like a sticker. So I kind of liked this ghost. He's kind of facing that way. And we're going to put him on here. I do want to add a little bit of the powder so that there's nothing that's sticking. The sticker is gone. It's like a cardstock element now. And then, let's see here. Sometimes my iPad doesn't always show up, but I still see that there's some people in here, so I'm hoping that you can see and hear me okay. Okay. I think I can still, yeah, I can still see it. I've got the Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L. These are the foam squares. I'm going to put a couple of these on. And actually, just before we do this, I wanted to do one other thing. I'm going to come in with the Lindy's Gang Glitz Spritz. So I'm just shaking this. I'm not going to spray it because I don't want it to cover the whole thing, but I just want a few little shiny splatters. So I'm just going to tap on some splatters over my background. And I like this. This one is the Fairy Fluff. Because I think always if you have a little bit of shimmer, that is a nice finishing touch. And then we can use this because it doesn't overheat one area. I'll just give it a little bit of drying, but it's still going to dry. So I'm just going to be careful not to smudge it. That'll just start off and you can see how shimmery that is. Like, look how pretty that is. Okay, now we can go in and add our cute little piece of ephemera. So this little ghost is going to be there. Then, let's see. I do like the moon. I feel like the moon could go nicely with this little house. The haunted house. There's a lot of people that I've seen this year who are decorating their yards and their homes for Halloween. like lots of big decorations too. There's like humongous skeletons, and so we're gonna do this, I think. And let's see, then, and I like that it's got like this piece of almost like little tape that's there. Thanks, Star. And then this one, maybe this little pumpkin, he would look cute. And these would be so cute. I find as long as you have one layer of dimension over kind of a couple flatter layers, then you can still nail it fine. So let's see, this guy could go here. I kind of feel like he looks better here because then he's layered. It's like a little bit of a cluster of that paper and this little guy. We've also got little stars and candies. So you could do lots of different layering. The flowers are really cute. You could do as many really as you want. It's very cute. There's lots of very cute elements. And then we are going to come in and use these pink and main sequins. I poured a few here out into this little container. And then we've got our small adhesive dots. So I'll just kind of show you how these are going to look. I won't put them all on right now. So I like that these are in different sizes and different colors. So really great color selection. And even though these are not Halloween specific, I mean, you could pick out Halloween colors like we're doing here. You could do Christmas colors with the greens and the reds, or the pinks and the blues, like depending on your Christmas cards. So I think you can match these to lots of different things. So all I'm doing is popping this onto the little adhesive, or the little, adhesive dot. And then I'm just making, let me see, where do I want to put this? I usually make a little triangular, oh, there was two stuck together. So I'm going to put one down there, and then I'll pick a smaller one, this green one. And that can go there. And then what else do we want? We could do, there's like a teal blue that matches nicely as well. We've got a gold or a silver. I think I'm going to go with the silver actually. We'll put this one on. So on here, I did 3 like this. So just wherever you feel like you want them clustered around. And maybe we'll do like that. So I do always do kind of a triangle, not a perfect triangle, if that makes sense. And then I finished it off with some stickles. So I would add maybe some stickles to this little jack-o'-lantern eye. And then it looks like it's shining, which is really cute. This one is the crystal stickles. They have a bunch of different ones that are clear, but like there's iridescent, and I think one's called diamond. There's a whole bunch that are clear. I think any of them work, and I'm always a fan of the clear ones because then you can put them on over everything. Isn't that cute? And you could, of course, decorate with that. I'll put a couple of these sequins there, probably here, the same as this one, and this as well. And then for this one, maybe I'll just do like a couple dots of the sequins. And then actually, now that I'm looking at it, let's do like a couple little spots in the windows, just like some little spooky lights that are happening there. Isn't that cute? And these are almost iridescent. You can kind of just see them shining. So that is how quick you can put those together. We've got 4 little Halloween cards now that are ready to send out for Halloween, and we've still got lots of paper left. We can do some scrapbooking or some more cards, and yeah, have some time to actually do those things before Halloween comes. And then you can do your scrapping after Halloween. So thank you so much, guys, for, you saw some at Home Depot that were huge. I know. I don't know where people put them afterwards. They look incredible though. Thank you guys for hanging out, and hopefully you get some crafting time this weekend. Thanks, Star. Thanks everybody for watching, and hope you have a great weekend. See ya. Bye.